Hello everyone, welcome back to Campus Paper. In this video, we are going to solve IGCSE Chemistry, May-June 2024, Paper 2, Variant 2. This is Part 2, covering question 21 to 40. The link to the Part 1 is in the description of this video. Let's continue. Question 21. Lithium and sodium are metals in group 1 of the periodic table. Lithium has the melting point of 181 degrees Celsius and a density of 0.53 gram per centimeter cube. Which row describes the melting point and density of potassium? Now, potassium and lithium are in the same group, which is group 1. And in group 1, melting point decreases as you go down the group, and density increases as you go down the group. And from our periodic table, this is group 1. You can see that lithium is above potassium, so which means that the melting point of potassium is going to be less than 181 degrees Celsius, and then the density is going to be greater than 0.53. Which means that our answer is option B, less than 181 and greater than 0.53. Question 22. Which statement about transition elements are correct? 1. They have a low density. No. Transition elements have high density, so option 1 is wrong. They form ions with variable oxidation numbers. That's correct. They have high melting point. That is correct. They form only colorless compound. That is wrong. They form colorless compound, but not just only colorless compound. So the answer therefore is C, option 2 and 3. Question 23. Which statement describes the element in group 8 of the periodic table? Option 1. Their atoms have full outer electron shell. That is correct. They are unreactive metals. That is wrong. They are only reactive but not metals, but non-metals. They are monoatomic gases. That is also correct. They are diatomic gases. That is wrong. So therefore, our answer is option A, 1 and 3. Question 24. Four metals, Q, R, S, and T, are each added to separate samples of water, steam, and dilute hydrochloric acid. The result as shown. This is the result. Observation with water. This is Q, R, S, and T. Observation with steam, and then observation with dilute hydrochloric acid. Which statements are correct? 1. R is the least reactive metal. So let's look at it. Look at R. It does not react with water. It does not react with steam. It does not react with hydrochloric acid, while others react. So therefore, R truly is the least reactive metal. So option 1 is correct. Option 2, T could be potassium. Okay, let's look at T. Fast reaction with water, explode with steam, and then explode with hydrochloric acid. Yes, truly it could be potassium. Why? Because potassium is in group 1. Group 1 elements are highly reactive. Not just in group 1, but it is at the top. Okay. Then 3, S is more reactive than Q and R. This is S, more reactive than Q. Okay, it does not react with water, but Q reacts with water. It reacts very slowly with steam, but Q reacts fast with steam. Slow with hydrochloric acid, but Q fast with hydrochloric acid. So that means Q is more reactive than S. So option 3 is wrong. Option 4, metals generally react faster with steam than they react with water. Yes, as you can see here, this is slow, but here it's fast. No reaction, there's reaction, fast, explode. So that means option 4 is also correct. So therefore, our answer is A, 1, 2, and 4. Question 25. Metal X acts as a sacrificial metal to prevent iron from corroding. Metal X does not act as a sacrificial metal to prevent aluminium from corroding. What is X? X is D, which is zinc. This happens through a process called galvanizing, where zinc protects iron because it is more reactive than iron. Question 26. Which equation represents the reduction of a compound found in hematite in the blast furnace? Now, hematite is an ore of iron. So that means option A and B is out. And then the ore of iron contains iron 3 oxide, which reacts with carbon monoxide to produce iron. Is an extraction of iron. So therefore, our answer is going to be D. This is iron 3 oxide, carbon monoxide to give us iron, carbon dioxide. That is extraction of iron in a blast furnace. Question 27. Which statement about the treatment of domestic water supplies are correct? Filtration is used to remove insoluble substance from the water. That is correct. Sedimentation is used to remove soluble substance from the water. That is wrong. Cannot use sedimentation to remove soluble substance. Insoluble substance. 3. Carbon is used to remove taste and odor from the water. That is correct. Chlorine is used to lower the pH of the water. That is wrong. Chlorine is used to kill germs. So therefore, our answer is A, 1 and 3. Question 28. Which statement about water is correct? It turns anhydrous copper 2 sulfate from pink to blue. That is wrong. That's for cobalt 2 chloride. It turns anhydrous copper 2 sulfate from white to blue. That is correct. So therefore, our answer is B. Question 29. Cupronickel is used to make coins. The arrangement of the atoms in cupronickel is shown. We have the carbon atoms and we have the nickel atoms. Which kind of substance is cupronickel? That is A, an alloy, which is metal mixture. Question 30. Which physical properties are typical of all metals? Option 1, good heat conductivity. That is correct. Low density. That is wrong. Why? Because transition metals have high density, and we are told here for all metals, typical for all metals. Malleability. That's also correct. All metals have physical property of being malleable. So therefore, our answer is option B, 1 and 3. Which oxide is used to neutralize acidic gases in flue gas desulfurization? The answer is A, calcium oxide. Calcium oxide removes acidic gas like sulfur dioxide. Question 32. Some information about three gases, P, Q, and R is listed. Gas P forms when magnesium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. Gas Q makes up 78% of the air. Gas R forms when gas P reacts with gas Q. What is gas R? So here we have to identify our gas P. Gas P is going to be hydrogen because this is magnesium, which is a metal with hydrochloric acid. It's going to give us salt and hydrogen gas. That means P is a hydrogen gas. Then Q makes up 78% of the air, which means that Q is nitrogen. Gas R forms when gas P reacts with gas Q. So here we have nitrogen and hydrogen reacting. So among the options here, the gas that is going to be produced is going to be A, ammonia. Ammonia is NH3. We have N and H. So ammonia will be the gas produced. Next question, question 33. Which formula represents an alkene? Alkene contains double bond, and the general formula for alkene is, now if you look at this option, obviously not A. A is an alkane, which is methane, and this is an alcohol. So it's between B and C. Look at it between B and C. The one that follows this formula is option B. C2, 2 times 2 is 4. So therefore, our answer is option B. Next question, question 34. The structures of two compounds used to make an ester are shown. So this is our carboxylic acid and this is alcohol. What is the name of the ester? Now, you need to remember the naming format for ester. The alcohol part is named first and then the acid part. So this is our alcohol part and we have ethanol as the alcohol. So that is what is going to be named first, but it's going to be changed to alkyl. So since this one is ethanol, it's going to change to ethyl. Okay, so that means our answer is between A and C. And then the acid part is propanoic acid, and the acid part changes to ATE. So from propanoic acid, it will change to propanoid. So therefore, the answer is A, ethyl propanoid. Next question, question 35. Which statement about a homologous series is correct? A, all members have the same general formula. That is the answer. You don't even need to check the other option because homologous series, they have the same general formula. Which statement about aqueous ethanoic acid are correct? It contains the functional group COOH. That is correct. It is an ethanoic acid, and this is the functional group of ethanoic acid. So 1 is correct. It reacts with carbonate to produce hydrogen. That is wrong. It's an acid. When it reacts with carbonate, it's going to produce carbon dioxide gas, not hydrogen gas. Option 3, it turns universal indicator paper blue. That is wrong. It's a weak acid, so it's going to turn universal indicator yellow, not blue. Blue is for weak alkaline. It has a pH lower than pH 7. That is correct. Acid pH is between 1 and 6. So therefore, the answer is option C, 1 and 4. Next question, question 37. Alkenes react with steam in an addition reaction. Some alkenes produce only one alcohol product. Some alkenes produce two different alcohols, which are structural isomers. Which role gives the number of alcohol isomers formed when ethene reacts with steam and when propene reacts with steam? Number of alcohol isomers formed, ethene plus steam, and then propene plus steam. So for ethene and steam, number of isomers that is going to be formed is only 1. Why? Because ethene has only 2 carbons. So the alcohol functional group, which is OH, can either be on this carbon or on this carbon. If it's on this carbon, it's going to be 1 ethanol, and on this carbon, it's still going to be 1. So the isomers that is going to be formed is only 1. That narrows our option to A and B. But for propene, propene contains 3 carbon atoms. So the alcohol functional group can be on this carbon. So it can be propan 1 or or it can be on this carbon and then it become propyl 2-or, making the isomers to be 2. So therefore, our answer is option B, 1 and 2. Question 38. What is an advantage of manufacturing ethanol by fermentation rather than by the addition of steam to ethane? So you need to know the advantage and disadvantage of these two methods of manufacturing ethanol. So the answer here is going to be D. Fermentation uses renewable raw material, while addition of steam to ethene is not a renewable raw material. Question 39. The diagram shows the structure of a polymer. This is the structure of the polymer. Which structure represents the monomer for this polymer? Remember that this is addition polymerization. And addition polymerization, it is the same monomer that is being repeated. So, and it takes place in alkenes, double bond, where the double bonds between the two carbon atoms breaks open. That means it's going to be two carbon atoms. This is one repeat unit. This is another repeat unit. So if it is one repeat unit, let's just take this one repeat unit, and then we restore the double bond broken so that we can get the monomer. So we look at our option, which is correct. Now here we have our CH3, but here it starts with CH2. So this is wrong. Option A is wrong. Look at option B. We have CH3, CH3. We have carbon, and then carbon, and hydrogen. But here we have CH3. So option B is also wrong. Look at option C. We have CH3. Then also here we have CH3. Then we have C and H. Look at it here, C and H. Then we have the double bond, and then CH, and CH, and then C double bond oxygen and H, C double bond oxygen and H. So therefore our answer is C. Look at D, it's completely different. So the right answer, the monomer that represents this polymer, is option C. Question 40, which is the last question. Which piece of apparatus is used to measure 24.5 centimeter cube of gas produced during a reaction? So the answer is C, measuring cylinder. Measuring cylinders are used to measure gas volumes. So take note of that. That's the full walkthrough for IGCSE Chemistry, May-June 2024, Paper 2, Variant 2. If this helped you, like the video, subscribe to Chem Past Paper, and check the channel for more IGCSE Chemistry Past Papers walkthrough. I'll see you in the next one.